And based on some results this season, you would think this is the game for the offense to get it straight, because North Carolina, deplorable in a number of efforts against App State's the classic. We even talked about it, even though they were completely off the radar, and we don't talk North Carolina football here. That game was that one quarter of play in the fourth quarter was so egregious. We even talked about it here, giving up 46 touchdowns in a quarter.
And look, it wasn't just the fourth quarter. Like I said, App State was up 21-7 in that ball game. Like, go back and look. Like they came out early and were hitting haymakers, bro. Like, they were swinging for the fences. Some no doubters, bro. Like, they went up the field. So, hopefully there are some things that, can be exploited there. Now, don't get it twisted. As Mark said in his lead-in, North Carolina is very talented. Miles Murphy, 5-star. Like, Clemson was a finalist with North Carolina for 5-star defensive end. He stayed home and he goes to North Carolina, right? Storm Duck transfers over there. They got the kid who wears 0, Conley, who's a monster and personally dominated at least 2 previous Miami games against the Hurricanes on defense only. You got the Grimes, the 5-star kid who was a 17-year-old supposed to be in high school. He reclassifies, comes in early, starts as a true freshman at 17 years old a couple years ago, right? They got plenty of talent. So their defense is the inverse of Miami's offense, where there's talent everywhere, but the production has been deplorable. But even with that being said, they're still 4-1 because they're scoring 1 million points a game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I got to think, like this past weekend, they take on a Virginia Tech team. They shut them down to 10 points, nothing in the second half. The stats even show that they didn't give up anything. They looked like a capable defense on the stat sheet. I saw maybe 2 plays of the game, so I can't comment there. But I think what's that?
So they were playing one of the worst teams in captivity, but still.
Exactly.
But
especially on the offensive side. Right. They're bad.
Yeah, they're real bad.
And, Notre Dame has struggled on the offensive side this entire season. And they, 45. So this is the week for Miami to get it right against this defense. And they're going to need to get it right from that standpoint, but also just keep up, you would think, with the North Carolina offense, which is the inverse, is a pretty stout unit, one of the best in the nation.
And so I was looking at that, and the thing that, first of all, their quarterback is really good. And so if you thought, okay, Sam Hartman is gone, it's not Sam Hartman, Sam Howell is gone. And they're going to really fall off at quarterback. That is not true. Drake May is his name. Luke May, the basketball player, and I forget his dad's name, but dad played football at Carolina as well. He was quarterback. And everything, but you got 6'4", 220, strong arm, can move, and everything. But yeah, so I'm just going to run down some numbers really quickly. Number of plays that were 10 yards or more. North Carolina, 94 in 5 games. How about 20 yards or more? 36 in 5 games. That would be 7th and 3rd nationally. How about 30-yard plays, Cam? That'd be tied for 6th nationally with 16. How about 40-yard plays, Cam? That'd be tied for 5th at 10. How about 50-yard plays? Are they doing those? They sure are, dear listener. They are having, it's a little bit further down. Oh, there goes. 5 of those tied for 7th. How about 60-yard plays? Oh my goodness, they're way down there, tied for 11th with only 3. How about 70-yard plays? They got a pair of those, which is tied for 6th. How about 80-yard plays? They're tied for 3rd with 1, and there's only 3 teams that have had a 90-yard offensive play, and that would include a group with Middle Tennessee State because we gave up a 98-yard touchdown last week. So I say that to say that if you were thinking that maybe this offense or this defense that is struggling with giving up explosive plays to the opposition is going to face a team that plays dink and dunk, and they're just going to try to run the ball, and they're going to do ball control, and they're going right for that sore spot. I mean, it is, Yeah, no, you're limping around a little bit, and or whatever. You get hit in the early round, and so you drop that guard, and you're trying to guard that kidney and everything, and they're just going to throw body shots right at that spot. Nope, we're going to hit that. We're going to hammer that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you go back and like I said, I watched the full game of North Carolina and a condensed cut of a couple of their other games. They're going to scheme stuff vertical, and especially in the RPO game, which is like a very stark difference from the RPO game that like Miami ran for years, whether it was Al Golden's RPO game with his offensive staff, whether that is the Rhett Lashley, because you're going to have a run play with like a slant tag, right? Maybe, eventually like a double move or something. They're going to have a run play with a vertical tag, with a seam tag on that. You know what I mean? Like they're not just, okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to throw a slant. No, we're going to look at the RPO. We're going to look at the run, but then we're going to try to hit you on a square, and we're going to hit you on a seam route, like going vertically. So even in that, just that little difference really stood out to me. Now, they do throw, the bubble screens and the now screens and things like that are extensions of the run game. But, a lot of stuff they do, they're going to go intermediate or vertical. And it's a lot of what they did, with Sam Howell. Look, he was really good, and he put up all those numbers because they scheme up one-on-ones. They're going to throw vertical like it's a recruiting camp, and they're going to go make plays. Go look at all of those. Even when Miami played him when he was a freshman, look at the game winner that year and everything. We got a dude somewhere. We're going to scheme him up one-on-one. We're going to send him vertical, and we're going to believe that our quarterback is going to have the time, and he's going to put the ball there. And they do, and those receivers win. And speaking of winning, they've beaten us 3 times in a row. So the proof's in the pudding that it does work for them. So yeah, Miami's up against it this week. This is a tall task, and I know that Miami can win. I'm not saying this is an immovable force or an inconquerable object or something, but yeah, going up against that offense, stopping that offense while also getting our offense to come alive, to take advantage of their defense, that's asking a lot from a team that has done neither so far this year. But
yeah, exactly, because what the issues are with their team, I look at it this way. We just saw it play out against Virginia Tech. North Carolina can be taken advantage of defensively, obviously. But if you're not executing offensively, you and I could be out there, and if guys are missing throws, if they're missing blocks, if they're dropping the ball, then you take a bad North Carolina defense, and they can get some stops because there was a false start, and then there was a dropped pass. And, we really didn't do anything to get off the field that time. And so we've seen that against a couple bad opponents that they've been able to, and maybe they're getting better. Maybe they're finally finding themselves to a certain extent defensively, but I think it's more so the opponent.
And again, they're very talented.
Yes.
So like it has not been going well for them performance-wise and schematic-wise or whatever. But like, again, inverse of Miami, or the same as Miami is, defense for offense. There's plenty of talent on that roster. You're not saying, okay, this is not a case where you're like, okay, they are playing multiple guys who should not have scholarships or should not be playing at this level, maybe an FCS, maybe a Division II level. And I can go back, wrote about it, talked about it. There's plenty of dudes who played plenty of snaps for previous Miami teams. It's like, this guy is not a Miami caliber guy. For Miami to play to the caliber or quality of team that we aspire to be and have been and want to get back to, these guys don't have scholarships. These guys might be a preferred walk-on, but they're playing starter level snaps, 600-700 snaps a year, right? That's not the case on either of these teams. There's plenty of talent. So the defensive coordinator, do they have Chiswick?
Yes.
Yeah. So he has to get it together over there. And then, like, obviously the entire organization, because, I mean, offense and defense have been lacking, or not hitting the standard. But, yeah.